Happy Friday, folks. That's right, it's Friday. The weekend is here. We're gonna talk some Mets baseball, and this is coming from a Yankee fan. But again, guys, I do not despise the Mets. The Red Sox I do, but in a healthy way. The Mets, I can't, I just never could. I mean, I can't be hypocritical. When I started watching baseball, I was rooting for both teams. So
Well, that's good.
I can't say nothing bad about the Mets. But I'm a Yankee fan for life. This is my guy Jason Guido. We once again
How
collaborate.
you doing?
Jason, how's it going?
Well, I'm doing good. How you doing, Mike?
Good, good. So yeah, as you guys can see, Jason, he's a Met fan, as the background shows it. But
Yes, I am.
but Jay, London
Yep,
series, London series, Mets Phillies. Last year it was St. Louis, Chicago. This
that's
year
right.
we have the NL East, Mets and Phillies. The Phillies, they've been on red hot. The Mets, they got up to a bad start, then they got hot, and now they're just back to being abysmal. And things are
N-
not looking too good for the Mets. So, what do you expect from this series? And also, what are your thoughts on the Mets so far?
Okay, well, the London series, I would be happy if they just played the games in City Field or Philadelphia. But I get it. It's the way baseball's trying to promote the sport around the world. So it's fun, I guess. But it doesn't do me any. It doesn't get me excited or happy or sad whether the Mets were good or not. It's just another game to me, just another regular season game. And if you go by the matchups, tomorrow for game one, it's Suarez, the top lefty in baseball right now, for Philadelphia, 9-1 record, 170 ERA against Sean Manara, who's been good for the Mets. He has a 363 ERA. He's pitched well, another lefty. What they're doing is the Mets will be the home team for game one, which is Saturday, and for game two on Sunday, the Philadelphia will be the home team. I think it's Walker who pitched for the Mets, righty versus Quintana, lefty. Hasn't had a great year so far for the Mets. Has a high ERA, 5.17. But like I said, the Phillies will be the home team for game two in the series. And as for the Mets so far this season, we've seen what most Mets fans who are realistic expected. They didn't go out and get any big free agents. They're trying to get underneath the luxury tax or salary cap, however you want to phrase it. But their starting pitching was good and relief pitching was good at first. They didn't hit. Then the starting pitching has been horrendous, and the relief pitching has been horrendous, and they hit a little bit better as of recent. But all in all, there's still 8 or 9 games under 500. The only bright spot is, and also the top stars haven't hit. I mean, Lindor, Alonso, at least not from average on base percentage wise. I know Alonso has like 14 home runs. Lindor started to heat up a little bit. He's got some more power, but they're still way below their lifetime stats. So we're pretty much where the Mets, I believe they are. I mean, where the Mets should be at this point. It's still early. It's only the beginning of June, so I'm not gonna completely count them out yet. I mean, there's still a whole bunch of games left. They're only 4 games, amazingly. They're only 4 games out of the last wild card. So we're just taking from there and see how they can go along with the rest of at least make it to the trade deadline and see where they're at.
And speaking of the trade deadline, I mean, Luis Severino is his first year with the Mets. He's 30
No,
years old. He's 3-2. Do you think, or is there any possibility that the Mets could move him in the trade deadline to get someone to trade him to a contending team and get something in return? Or do you
uh,
think he's going to ride it out throughout the entire season?
no. I think the Mets, if they're out of it at the trade deadline, I think they're going to trade everyone possible that is a 1 year contract. Severino, I could see him going to the Astros, the Yankees, or the Milwaukee Brewers, where Stearns, the Mets GM, has connections to. I think Quintana will be traded. I think anyone who has a 1 year contract will be gone. Octavino, um, I could see Jeff McNeil getting traded. I could see Alonso getting traded. I could see just about everyone who's on a 1 year contract get traded. Harrison Bader, the center fielder. I could see a lot of trades happening at the trade deadline for the Mets, assuming they're out of it, which at the rate they're going, they will be. But again, we still have all of June and most of all of July practically to see that.
Before I go to Pete Alonso, I'm gonna say one more thing about Severino. I feel that the one team that could benefit to get him in the trade deadline that could make them better, I would say, on paper. I don't know how it would translate on the field, but on paper, the Baltimore Orioles could benefit getting him.
Yeah, sure. I could see that. The Mets have made trades with Baltimore before, and he's only making, I think, $13 million, and that'll be half gone by the time the trade deadline comes. Like I'm saying, that he's fairly cheap for the how he's pitching. So I could see him going to any. The Mets will probably get a good medium mid-level prospect for him back. So yes, I could see that. Yeah, I could see him going to the Yankees too, back to the Bronx.
The one memorable trade that I'll never forget, and this was back in 2000 between Baltimore and New York, is when the Mets traded Melvin Mora for I believe it was
Bordick.
Bordick. There we go. Yeah. And I remember it was my first full season watching baseball, but I grew to like Melvin Mora, especially because of the '99 season. So when they traded him, I was a little bit salty about it, but I was young at the time. So I don't know about the things now, but at the end of the day, it sucked for Mora because he missed out on going to the World Series, even though they didn't win. But he missed that experience. Even though I do feel that the '99 Mets team were a much more talented team than 2000, but they just ran into Atlanta in '99. But yeah, that's one memorable trade that I remember between Baltimore and the Mets.
So that was one of the Mets mistake trades because they traded for Mike Bordick, who was having a big year. Well, not a big year. He's batting over 300, and he was a veteran. He was on a 1 year contract. Maybe he had another year. I have to go back and look. But Melvin Mora was one of the Mets' top prospects at short, and I remember why they traded him. They traded him because he was a little shaky at the shortstop position. He made a couple of errors, and instead of just letting him play,
and it didn't help because Ordonez got hurt in 2000.
Right, and then Ordonez got hurt the next year, but that was a mistake because he wanted to become an all-star and playing multiple positions too. He was able to play in the outfield too, I believe, later on in his career. And that was a mistake because Bordick only played, I'm pretty sure, that 1 year with the Mets. I don't know if he played in 2000. I would have to go back and look, but I know he wasn't in the 2000 World Series. But yeah, that was a mistake for the Mets. They should have held on to Melvin Mora. They thought Bordick was going to come. He had more power. Like I said, he was a veteran, so they figured they were getting somebody special. I believe that the Mets wanted somebody from the Cincinnati Reds, their shortstop at the time, he was a
Larkin.
Yeah, I believe the Mets wanted Barry Larkin, and he vetoed the trade to the Mets. He said he didn't want to go play for the Mets. Like they're going to be in the playoffs, and he didn't want to go. I'm almost positive it was him, and I think that's why they went to Baltimore and went and got Bordick. I'm pretty sure that was the year. I'm pretty sure. I would have to go back and look again, but it was either '99 or 2000. The Mets tried to trade for Larkin, and he vetoed the trade, and the rest is history.
Now, going to the polar bear, Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
As we know, the rumblings are there of whether he's going to stay or whether he's going to leave. I mean, I will say this as a Yankee fan, and I've said this before to another Met fan as well, that me personally, I would like to see Pete Alonso be a Met for life. There's just something about Pete Alonso and, that organization. I feel like they're just perfectly right for each other. But this is a business, so no one is safe. Nowadays, it's very tough to see one player stay with one team for the rest of their career. So, but if you're the front office, if you want to play it safe, then trading him could be an option, but you make sure that you get something valuable in return because you don't want to lose him for nothing.
Right. So the rumors were last year that the Brewers inquired about trading him. So the Mets wanted the Brewers' top prospect. I can't think of his name. Oh, he's an outfielder. Um, and they were like, "No, we're not going to do that." So this year, Alonso's not hitting for average. He's not hitting. His on base percentage is below what the kind of money he's asking for. The Mets offered him. Supposedly, the Mets have offered him a contract, and he said no to it. And I think he wants to test free agency. So if that's the case, I could see the Mets trading him. I mean, you can always re-sign him in the offseason, but from the stats that he's giving you, he's not Bryce Harper. He doesn't have a 370 or 80 on base percentage. So he's not going to get what the other top first basemen get, in my opinion. Matter of fact, I don't think he's going to get that kind of money from anywhere. I think he can even sign a 1 year or 2 year deal with some team, and maybe they'll pay him more money for a shorter term contract. That's always, something that I would like to do as a GM. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I know that he's popular. The thing is, it's the Mets. With them losing, it's even worse because the Mets fans are like, "Oh, trade everyone. We have all these supposed prospects in the farm system," which they don't, because if you look at the Mets farm system, most of their prospects all play the same position: second, short, and third. At least the top prospects. So how many people are you going to have? First of all, the Mets already have a shortstop, Lindor. So they're not going to trade him. Who would take his contract? That would be number one. They're not going to bench him. They're going to play him out. They're going to hope that he hits a little better, at least average and on base wise. He's gotten a little bit more power as of recent. Like I said, it's still early, but I don't know what the Mets are going to do with Alonso. It's more of I think it's up to him and the Mets how they view him. He's not a great defensive first baseman. I prefer left-handed first baseman. If it was up to me, I like the lefty first baseman. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, he can always be a DH, but I don't know what the Mets' plans are for all that going forward. You would have to. I don't think they know what's going to happen. I think they're hoping that they can get their hands on once Soto from the playing with the Yankees, which is a pie in the sky because I don't know if the Mets view him as somebody they want to pay 400 or $500 million, which is crazy money. But where's he going forward? I really, I would have to really sit down and look at all the options. It all depends how much money the Mets are going to spend. Supposedly, all they have, the owner of the Mets Cohen has the Met fans on saying, "Oh well, we're going to spend money. We're going to spend money," and they try to spend money in the last off season. Looking at those, Otani and Yamamoto, but they already made up their mind to play for the Dodgers, so it was just a waste of time, in my opinion. But the Met fans are going to be looking for them to spend a lot of money in positions and pitches that they don't have. So, is Alonso part of that future? Alfonso, I should say. I don't know.